All right, and good morning, everyone. It's the Todd and Erin. Oh, wait, the non-sponsored coffee drink. All right, so Todd and Erin, morning stream at GetPartDaily.com. Good morning.
Good morning, honey. How are you?
I wanted to go off shoulder today.
I know, and you would have been much sexier with it. Let's be honest.
I don't think that's true.
But not everybody can, pull it off. And well, I'm sorry.
You do a good job.
We can't wear the matching things now. Yesterday was so beautiful. I mean, so heart-stoppingly beautiful.
Right.
And it was because of the storm. The oncoming storm, so it was like this ridiculous, 68 degrees, and then the wind started blowing.
It's all that was on Facebook.
But it was beautiful.
Take a
everybody,
look.
yeah.
Take a look.
So
God, look at this.
Seriously, every Facebook fiend had it up, and it was just gorgeous. That's
Great shots,
That's
everyone.
Patrick. He always does something good though, because he's fancy.
Some of these are listeners. That's a listener.
Gorgeous.
And
Look at
thank you
that.
for. We're going to show a video at the end of a compilation. We had a bunch of people. Actually, Kurt Bester was one of them.
I know, I appreciate his excellent
Who
taste.
lives up in the avenues, and he sent some in, and it was really fun.
All right, it's the Morning Mountain Cam. It's brought to you by Brio
Not as good as
Technologies.
yesterday.
Experts in light sound. I know yesterday was like all dramatic, and this is like, well, it's,
Well, if you remember,
British.
yesterday it was 65 degrees at this time.
It was. I would have liked that this morning because we'd had the rain and then it froze overnight.
Yeah.
So I was doing that ridiculous heaving thing on my door, trying to get my car door open, where you
Yes.
have one foot and you're bracing yourself, and then you fall over and
Yes.
you start swearing, and then you stand up and do it again, and then I did
Well, I
the
don't
ineffectual
do that, actually.
scraping of the ice with my credit card.
How's that
which means
work?
that won't be working today, so that's
Yeah.
good. So yeah, it was useful. Yeah, it was super helpful.
Today, when you walk outside, if you're watching right now, it's 7 a.m., it will be 35 degrees. 65,
Surprise.
35.
Yeah, it's like that.
That's crazy. Yesterday, every once in a while, you discover something new about your relationship. And Erin and I were not fighting. What would you call it? We were feuding. We were.
When was this?
I don't remember what we were even talking about at this point.
But we were
All I know is,
feuding?
yeah, we went back and forth. No, it's not like that. Da, da, and then she come back. Da da da. And the argument ended with Erin saying, "You got a zit right there," and then she walks out of the room.
I win.
I did have a zit. It's my youthful appearance.
It just makes you look like a teenager again. I'm just trying to figure out how
That's
you
how
got
you ended an argument.
How did
It's
you
like,
get this-
well, yeah, but you got a zit.
How did you get this vaguely cyclopean zit right here in the center of your forehead?
Are we really going to harp on this?
I really want to know how it happened, though. It's like, why would you get one there?
Because my 17-year-old has zits, and we are bonded dad and son.
Is that why we're doing the charcoal face masks? Because now you're all like
Not the painful
uncomfortable.
ones. You've seen it on. Everybody does the
Are there
video.
painful ones?
Yes. If you've never seen them, you put the black stuff on your face, not on your eyes, not in your mouth,
That would
and
be
then
helpful.
it dries, and then you do this, and it takes all the stuff out of your pores. And the one we're
I would
going
do
to
it.
use is like this. It's like, oh, okay, nice and gentle. Some of the ones they use, like the cheap one or something, and they're like, no, I'm gonna wear it my whole life, and I'm not gonna change.
I'm not ready.
So we're not going to get one of those because it looked like it hurt. Just a word of warning to advertisers out there. Don't use the night before Christmas as your advertise where you switch the words around. And
Night before Christmas, and everyone realized they had to wear clogs.
'twas the night
Clogs,
before.
You can get them at, yeah.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, the pipes were all leaking inside of your house. And then you call all Utah Plumbing.
yeah.
Don't do that, John.
I could totally see John do that. He was enjoying being dressing up as Santa's helper a little bit too
I
much.
just
Why? Why are you so offended by it?
because it's a classic and it should be revered. Ooh, I haven't
It's
used
not
that word in a while.
I know, nice. It's not really that classic or that revered. It's a lot of stuff. I mean,
Comes
if they, were
to
taking,
like-
if they were taking Charles Dickens, I would be offended. It's like, really? You're doing a play off Charles Dickens? Evil. But, it's the night before Christmas.
All right.
Not like they really care.
I've lost my rundown.
Okay, how about
Start
this?
talking.
Mean people die sooner. So before you turn to that person who's tailgating you and start screaming and gesticulating, which is usually my given response, which is why I use it.
Yes.
That's right over there. You should remember that being angry just basically is going to kill you a lot faster.
Angry people die sooner.
It's true.
Ages 20 to 40 By the way, 1/3 of people know someone who can't control their temper in their family, friends, or whatever in their circle.
Given.
Researchers in Iowa State University found that angry men ages 20 to 40 were 1.5 times more likely to be dead at 35 years old.
Wow, that seems a little early.
Wow.
What, like heart attacks and stuff? Just
That and the fact that grumpy people can't sleep as well because they get all worked up and the adrenaline starts
people
going.
smother them with their own pillows, things like that.
Some people smother themselves with their own pillows. The fact is that once you get that going, you've had this before. Once you get yourself all geared up and you're like, "Argh," the doctors say, the researchers say, is to write your feelings down. And when you do that, it leaves room in your brain for sleeping. I don't like angry people. I really don't.
They're very tiring.
They go, "Oh, I'm sorry," and it's like, screw you.
Unfortunately, you married someone with a temper, so how'd that work for you?
I just leave the house. So writing that stuff
do
down. It can trigger lung disease.
Being pissed off can give you lung disease?
Yeah, look at it right here. Right there.
Those of a hostile nature experience reduced functioning of the respiratory system, according to researchers at the Harvard School of Public Health.
Right?
Studies looking into the lung function of more than 2,000 men over an 8-year period observed that highly hostile individuals performed significantly worse on a simple inhalation task than those who were rated less hostile.
See?
Who knew?
And?
It makes you anxious and depressed, which I think we all totally get that. Neurotransmitters and hormones are sent through the bloodstream, which in return increase both the heart rate and muscle tension, which of course is the body's state of alert. So interesting. Huh.
There you go.
It's from Harvard, so you know it's true.
How did Cyber Monday go?
It was interesting. Shoppers spent over $5 billion on Black Friday.
How much did we
and
spend?
over 50% of that was online.
How much did we spend?
Like $200.
Nice.
Half off at Old Navy. Thanksgiving Day also had $2.87 billion, which was interesting. So they're figuring that Cyber Monday is going to be the biggest one in history so far at $6.6 billion. That's the projection. They're still like tallying everything up this morning, so we'll know later today.
What did you say? 53% online? Uh-huh. That's huge.
And
that's
that was
up like.
And that was for Black Friday, so.
That's crazy.
So Cyber Monday is going to be insane.
That is
but
crazy.
It's very interesting, though. I feel bad for the brick and mortars, but they say that they actually did pretty well. They still held their own. It wasn't like a huge drain from what they've seen in years past. But the one thing I think we forgot to talk about, which makes me sad, so I'm just going to change it to this Saturday, Small Business Saturday, where they're saying, please remember your local people, all the, your local retailers, not the big chains, but the people who are up and going and the moms and pops. Mm-hmm. And then today, of course, is Giving Tuesday, where they're saying, could you save just a sliver of the budget and would you mind giving it to your favorite local charity? The Utah Humane Society has been sending us hopeful tweets all morning going, hey, cats and dogs over here, they'd like some help.
Saw Facebook Live about them.
Yeah?
Whole section, kennels empty.
That's a good thing.
There was one dog left.
Oh, no. Oh.
And she looked lovely. It's some of the older dogs that they've had for a while. And so they're saying, why don't you come down and take a look? Because, the brand new designer puppy for Christmas, not so much. And they have tons of kittens. And some of them have been there for like 3 months.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know. And they're waiving some of the fees and stuff. And they have bunnies. They have Christmas bunnies.
The Christmas what would be better than the Christmas bunny?
So anyway, but it was really
if
cool.
If you have a dog that barks really loud like ours, sometimes a quiet Christmas bunny seems like a blessing in disguise.
Explain how our dog barks.
You mean that there's a moment of crystalline calm and you're working and your brain is functioning and it's a warm summer afternoon and then all of a sudden at the top freaking volume of all freaking time. And then, of course, you've jumped out of your chair and you're shaking. And he's like, mailman's here. And then it's like, and he'll do it like when Zach's at the door. It's like, it's your brother. It's Zach. You don't have to do that. It's just exhausting. And then you go into this like hyper hysterical state for like the next 2 hours. Yeah, it's great. I love our dog. It may not even require $100,000 for me to give him up at this point.
She would sell our dog
for a buddy. You want to trade? Give me the buddy.
$100,000.
No, there was a thing last week where they asked, "Would you sell your dog for $100,000?" And they were saying, these people on video going, "I could never let go of my best friend." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I like Gil."
Guess I'll watch my back.
He's a very sweet dog most of the
Joe
time.
goes out the back door, and the door's shut when he comes back. What does he do? Arf. About 5 minutes later, arf. And then he comes in.
So maybe that's what we need to do is just leave him outside in the back and then he won't bark anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Who are you?
A woman who's tired of leaping out of her chair and then shaking for the rest of the afternoon.
Man's best friend. Boy, that's right. Todd Detmer.
I feel so badly for him.
Well-
I just kind of feel like he got thrown under the bus here. Don't you? I mean, kind of?
Well, so he's been, what was the phrase? He was relieved of his role as offensive coordinator and coach. The season was 9-4.
It was not a great season, let's be honest.
It's the worst since in 40 years. So they had a lot of regrouping to do, and
It's actually 4-9, which makes
was
it
it
so
4-9?
much
Oh,
worse.
yeah, sorry.
Last year's was not great either, but this year was spectacularly awful.
The offensive line just couldn't do it. They just, I'm not just blaming them. There was a problem, and it was his job to fix it, and they couldn't.
But, okay, in his defense, though, it takes years to build a defensive line, and it's like he's been there for what? How long?
Offensive.
That's what I said,
Okay.
I think. In any case, the point I said, in his defense, it takes a long time to
that's
build an
right.
offensive line.
Right, go ahead.
But it's true, it takes a really long time to build one. And it's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't get it done for you in 2 years. But he, of course, is being relentlessly gracious and adorable and going, well, I really did appreciate the chance, and I hope that,
I'll always be a cougar.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
it was really gracious instead of
hard.
me who would be crying and throwing stuff and going, I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
But he's gracious, and I'm not, so.
But you
But
think
yeah.
about taking years. It's a college. You have 4. And so
know.
your staff and your players and all that stuff, they got to get it moving. We don't know what we're talking about in sports, by the way, just a heads up.
I
but
repeat
Ty
things that I
Detmer
heard.
has been a part of Utah forever.
I know, that's why I'm like, really? Can you do that?
Blessed dogs like this.
I know, that's
Real
always
simple.
good.
Get in your truck, go to jail, see your mom. He's like a country song. So he's still
kind of wondering
he's
there.
still employed. Not a hick, but still employed, but probably not for long. And the resume's gonna be a little rough.
Doesn't seem like it's very fair. That's
Right.
all I'm saying.
I think it's gonna be a rough one.
Okay, let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily newsroom, probably with actual stories, with facts and stuff like that. She's brought to you by Utah Credit Approval. They believe that you should have a good car and a chance to repair your credit. So if you go to utahcreditapproval.com, you can get more information about how to apply. Also, Intermountain Alta View Medical Center now with a brand new clinic that's really 22 clinics in one. They have an amazing open house coming up next week with a trip for 4 to Disneyland. Also by All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where Santa John is there with his buddies, all waiting to make sure that you've got a safe furnace for all kinds of cold winter weather. They've got a $69 special. You can reach them at allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, my dear, what is going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making headlines Tuesday, November 28th on GephartDaily.com. A 21-year-old Wendover man has been arrested in the shooting death of his 15-year-old brother. Police say they were called to 800 Ash Street in West Wendover about 7 p.m. Sunday. When they arrived, officers found a dead teenager who had been shot in the torso. Investigators say the boy's brother, Ivan Lopez, shot him accidentally. Lopez left the scene as emergency crews arrived, but returned to the scene and turned himself in. He was booked into the Elko County Jail on a third-degree felony charge of involuntary manslaughter. The Unified Police Department has named a suspect in the July 2017 murder of a Magna woman. Police are looking for 46-year-old Gino James Sakala, wanted in the shooting death of 25-year-old Paige Espinoza. Espinoza was found shot to death in the back bedroom of a Magna home where she was visiting with friends. Police say she had been targeted from outside the residence and was shot through the bedroom window. Investigators ask anyone with information on Sakala's whereabouts to call Unified Police. And police are also asking for the public's help identifying a so-called porch pirate suspected of stealing a package from in front of a West Jordan home. The theft occurred on Big Spring Drive back on November 16th and was recorded by a surveillance camera. The suspect is a white male who was driving a grey four-door Pontiac with a sunroof. Detectives were not able to get the license plate number. If you know this clown, call West Jordan Police. And now let's take a look at our Wasatch Front weather report, brought to you by our spiffy new sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's #1 audio-visual specialists. Expect dry weather as we head towards hump day. High temperatures will remain in the upper 40s. Overnight lows will remain near the freezing mark. Chance of rain about 10%. And get ready to scrape your windshields today because it's been cold and there's been a lot of rain overnight. That's it for now. For more local headlines 24/7, go to GepartDaily.com. And for now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
All right, tell me something good. I think this is the sweetest story. And you, of course, first of all, we got to talk about wacky weather. This is pretty cool. If you haven't heard about this, our friend Linda Rawson was in town yesterday, so she stopped by the show. She's created this whole new cool game for kids that's amazing. It's called Wacky Weather. You can get it actually on her Kickstarter page because she's creating a broader thing to go with it. But this is like a cool present for kids because, number one, it's got the board game where they get to be one of the personalities. And, of course, I always want to be the emo Stormy girl because she's adorable. But they learn facts about weather all along the way. And actually, Todd and I were scrolling through them, reading the way. I did not know that. So they have the fun game and they teach you how to make a cloud viewer, and there's all kinds of fun things that go with it, like a coloring book. So you get the game, the coloring book, you get a letter from Santa. It is all gift wrapped, and then they will just mail it to the child of your choice. So it makes it super, super easy. So all you have to do is go to Kickstarter, kickstarter.com, and then look up Wacky Weather, wacky with an H, WHACKY weather. But it's such a cool kid present, and then you haven't had to do any work. Everything was all laid out for you.
It's cool.
And it's like you're the cool aunt because you sent them that makes them smarter versus something that makes them like, it's Play-Doh.
Okay.
It's just fun.
I'm eating it.
So Wacky Weather,
Right.
weather with an H, just go to Kickstarter, look it up, and it's a perfect, perfect gift.
Tell me something good. Wow. I got a story.
Okay, tell me.
I have a story for you. Okay, I'm going to say this. 2007, a gentleman has a traffic accident, loses his leg. So this is big stuff. Health goes downhill.
So there's medical bills, not able to work, everything, yeah.
Ends up in an apartment that's cruddy, living off his
Disability, which
which
is this much.
It's not enough. So we did have a TV, and he's watching the TV, and he's watching Antique Roadshow.
You love Antique Roadshow.
Pawn Stars is the Antique Roadshow of 2000s. Yep.
Okay.
So he's watching the show, and it was sad. His mother died previously, and so there's the roadshow. And his brothers and sisters went through and cleaned out the house without contacting him. And so when he actually did find out, he went to the house, and there was one thing in the closet, and was his old blanket. An old blanket, and he said, well, I'll take the blanket. And the way
Got a memory of my mom.
That's right.
They really cleaned it out and didn't tell him?
Took everything in the house.
The person who needs it the most. That's really nice. Thank you.
Right. Dirty old
Wow.
blanket. So he takes it home, and he's watching the road show, and he sees a blanket come up, and it looks just like his. And he's like, hey, I have one of those. I'm living in a cruddy apartment, and I'm not eating well, and I'm living on disability.
I can't believe his family did that. Well, anyway, I'm missing the point of the story. Go
So he
on.
calls a bunch of people, and they all turn him down, shake him off, and they're like, yeah, whatever. And then he takes it to an auctioneer, and the auctioneer looks at it, and he got kind of excited. And he said, you know what? Conservatively, this blanket's probably worth $150,000. Boom! $150,000. Because Navajo
Can you
blankets
imagine
are...
the change in this guy's life.
Right, and they're so collectible.
And they're so beautiful and they're so rare.
And
Yeah.
it shows such a history of the Navajo people. And there's a story in the blanket, which is really cool. So he said, okay. He goes, $150,000. That will change
Wow,
his
thank
life.
you. Yeah, wow.
So he went and he put it up for auction. Now, this is a good auction. This is the auction where they advertise.
These are the fancy people.
These are nice
They
auctions.
have the nice little paddles that they raise with their number on them.
Most of it comes over the phone now.
Really?
77 seconds of auctioneering and bidding. 77 seconds. Boom, 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 boom. People knew they wanted it. Someone wanted it.
Wow.
$150,000? I don't think so. $1.5 million.
You're kidding me.
After taxes and his fees, 1.3. So,
$1.3 million.
yeah.
So he invests that. Now he gets to live for the rest of his life comfortably because of his mom's blanket.
Thank you, brother and sister.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you for taking out everything. That's great.
Enjoy that Velvet Elvis painting. Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
That is such a cool thing.
And there's the sweetest picture of him hugging the auctioneer just in tears, and it's just. I know I love stories like that, found treasures, and for people who really, anyone's going to appreciate $1.5 million,
right.
But for someone who is so profoundly,
right,
disabled, and there just doesn't feel like there's any hope at all. So having something like that is like the most incredible thing ever.
I just think it's awesome that the fact that he was already happy for 150.
Well, yeah, like wow, thank you.
And then 77 seconds later,
how does a bid go that fast?
They pay a lot, evidently, for blankets. All right, we wanted to say thank you. We're going over the numbers for our show. It's scary. And we want to thank you by sending you to Christopher's Steakhouse.
Now, this is pretty remarkable. They do just such a gorgeous job during the holidays anyway. And then you're down, you have an amazing dinner, you're walking around, you're seeing all the lights downtown. And we just went down to Temple Square and saw how pretty it was.
Look at that.
And your stomach is gigantically full because you've just had this epic steak and you're like, this is really good. And you get to talk to people you love. And you don't usually get that chance during the holidays, but it gets to be a beautiful, relaxed night.
That's right. And they also do the group thing for companies and stuff.
By the way, if you are looking for a place for your company party, oh my gosh, this place is incredible. And they also cater, by the way, so even if you have to have it in the break room, they will bring a feast beyond all imagining. So you can also check the catering side of Christopher's.
How do they do it?
But if you would like to enter to win this glorious dinner for four, all you have to do is make a comment on the show today on Facebook. You can do that on Gephardt Daily's page, Gephardt Approved, or on the Todd and Erin page. Then we draw a winner on Friday, and somebody's going to go have dinner. It's just that simple.
Coming up next, flying just got creepier. Can it? Yes, it's next.
Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Utah Credit Approval. Bad things happen to good people, helping you on the road to good credit with just the right car. Go to utahcreditapproval.com or call them at 801-404-7201. Also brought by Columbus Travel. Columbus Travel has an epic sale on cruises through the 21st of October. You can get hotel and everything you can imagine just for less than the price you would of simple airfare. You have to talk to them first at columbusvacations.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com.
Apply today and drive away.
At All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, we have the best service and the best warranties. Check us out at allutahplumbing.com.
All right, welcome back to the Todd and Erin Morning Stream at GephartDaily.com. This is creepy. Now, first of all,
Explain this, though.
well, okay, so you go to the airport, right? And you get in that line, the cattle line, like you're going to Disneyland, but it's no fun. And then some guy gropes you all over. And then you feel a little weird. Then you put your clothes back on. You try to walk by Cinnabon, but you can't. You finally make it to your gate, and you sit there. All right, so far, not a great experience. And so you finally get on the plane, and you sit down in your seat. Now, all the flight attendants now have an app.
You were telling me about this. This is really fascinating.
And don't be surprised on Delta Airlines if it goes something like this. Well, hello, Mr. Collard. Welcome.
I'm not Mr. Collard. I'm Mrs. Collard. All right, let me get it. What's my
No, I'm going back to
the.
I'm still going back to the. Good morning, Mrs. Collard. How are you?
How are you, flight attendant?
Did you enjoy your trip to Seattle 2 weeks ago? We are so sorry about the delay you had.
Thank you.
Would you like the wine now?
Yes, please.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
The bottle will
that
be
would
fine.
be you. Yeah, that's. I'll be right back. So they're going to use this.
I get nervous about flying. Don't judge me.
It's 5 o'clock someplace. So they're going to have all this information on you.
So basically, they're tracking through all the consumer information on your account for Delta.
Yeah.
And so they can talk about whatever flights you've had. And they even record stuff like your eating and drinking preferences and stuff like that.
I made that part up, I think. It's not like they know you're vegan, but they know.
Well, and if you're
what
ordering
you-
all this stuff online, though, because you always order like the meals and junk like that, yeah.
What your interaction is with their company, they're going to know. We went and stayed at the W, and
W
if
in
it's
San Francisco.
San Francisco, the W, it is a it's a yuppie thing. It was now it's millennial, but they can't afford to stay there. And it was trying to be hyper groovy. And so when we walk in, first of all, the lobby is pitch black.
Everyone's wearing black clothes, and then there's one spotlight and a
Turtlenecks.
bowl of green apples on the desk.
So you go over and you check in. You try to sign your paper stuff you cannot see.
I think I used our phone so I can write my
And the rest of our stay there, you'd be walking, going to get a coffee or something, and people would pass you wearing they look like what's his name from Apple. They had this look up here like this, and you would walk by and they go, "Good morning, Mr. Collard."
Because they're all wearing headsets and they sort of whisper ahead to each other, and you're like, what do you?
That's freaky.
Yeah.
Funny though situation for Delta. Wouldn't it be funny if they went up and they went, "Oh, Mr. Johnson, how are you? Did you enjoy your trip to Hawaii? And did your wife? And your wife is sitting next to you, and she didn't go to Hawaii."
Yeah.
Yeah, outed.
That part's awkward.
Now you have this story makes me think of a movie about the girl with the flowers.
Oh yeah. Remember that?
P.S. I love you.
P.S. I love you. I know that was so cool. Well, it's a father of four. He passed away in 2013 from pancreatic cancer, which is hardest thing ever. And Bailey Sellers is his youngest daughter. Well, she did a post on Twitter that's now viral that said her dad Michael had been sending her flowers every year on her birthday since she was 17, and he said, "I promise you, I will send them every year until you turn 21."
Wow.
So, and indeed, the last set of flowers, which was a purple bouquet, arrived this year 2 days before her 21st birthday. Well, since her father had passed away 4 years ago,
Right.
he'd done a lot of planning. He said, the note that was included with the flowers said, "Bailey, this is my last love letter to you before we meet again. I do not want you to shed another tear for me, my baby girl, because I'm in a better place." And she said, I was so happy reading that message. And she said, it reminded me of all the experiences I had with my father and all the happy things and all the things that he had done for me.
Okay, you can stop talking.
Jeez Louise.
Dusty in here.
I just have
And
an
then
allergy. It's an allergy.
I'm not going to talk anymore. You big jerk. Oh, let's talk about something happy. People falling off cliffs, shall we? The Utah County Search and Rescue, which, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but Wayne Bassam is the commander of the Salt Lake County Search and Rescue, and his team of...
Hi, Wayne.
You'll be looking for us. Look at our faces.
Traditionally, that would be us, yeah.
34 volunteers. Did you know that?
Yeah, they have a big volunteer search and rescue.
That's what it's made up of.
All volunteer?
Volunteers.
I did not know that.
Now, Jared is on that.
Yeah, our
we
friend.
have a couple of friends who are medics, and they
If
go
we ever
up.
get hurt, I'm praying it's him because he
I am
actually
too.
knows what he's doing.
Plus, he lost some weight, so he's even fitter. So he can find us faster.
Did you just call one of our friends fat and then
No,
you're
I
hoping
said
he's the one who
I
rescues
said
us?
he's thinner. He lost weight.
Meaning that you're saying he was fat before.
The object is, can you carry me? That's it. So, actually, it's jumped. In 2016, the number of rescues was 65.
Wow. And the year before that was only like around 50. So apparently we're all a lot more uncoordinated, or a lot more of us are going up into like steeper situations where we really probably weren't ready for it. And I do use we liberally because that's traditionally something that I would try. Yeah.
Here are the problems.
No judgment
This
there.
is why it's going up. A couple different things.
Okay.
And the last one is hilarious. First of all, population. There's another, because more people are doing it, there's another deal where people are trying to get healthier. That's another trend. There's another trend of people putting themselves in risky situations. I'm not going to say selfies, but they did.
Maybe backing off the cliff as you take the
They did
selfie.
find-
Ill advised.
It's absolutely true.
Oh yeah.
They found a gentleman who fell from a cliff, and he kept his finger on the shutter of his 35 millimeter or DSL camera and took pictures all the way down.
That guy's dedicated.
No, he's dead.
Yeah, but dedicated.
So there's a reason.
Wow.
Here's the not the funny one, but here's the other one. Whimsical hiking.
What is whimsical hiking?
That's a quote. Whimsical. You know what I'll do.
I'm going to take a whimsical hike
I
today.
think I'll take and I think I'll go up there. And they go and they don't take water, they don't take a jacket, and they think they're going to come back.
Maybe there was a beverage involved.
Oh my gosh.
An adult beverage.
You know, most people, whimsical, you're thinking 2 hours, maybe 3. And whimsical hiking is one of the things. And also, people are calling in on their cell phones now. Help. They talk some people down.
Well, you can. There's also a GPS coordinate on your phone. You can just link back into Salt Lake. I
Right.
learned that when I got lost up and when I was doing the Bonneville Shoreline Trail.
You were.
That was helpful to
And
know
then you
which
have to-
direction was the city.
And then there's a maze through the oaks that you have to find the right
Whimsical
path.
hiking.
Whimsical hiking.
There had to be an adult beverage involved there somehow because that's.
Gosh.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm wearing bunny slippers.
What
I'm
should
going to go hike up to that waterfall.
What should I do? What should I do? I could paint the house, or
I could indulge in.
I could indulge in
Whimsical hiking.
getting myself lost and dehydrated and a little frostbite.
That's so epic. I'm so sorry.
So
In any
anyway,
case,
so it's way up. The numbers are way up, and stop it. And
But
those
that
go
is-
through to the end of December.
That is actually pretty cool, though. They're saying if you do want to join the Salt Lake County Search and Rescue,
Yes.
they really do have need for a lot of different
Yes.
kind of skills.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to be a paramedic or a mountain climber.
No.
Those are certainly helpful skills, but
Be
they said there's-
talented walking and whimsically determined hiking.
I guess apparently if you're capable of whimsical hiking and still getting back down, that'd be
There's
helpful.
support crew as well. When they set up a camp, there is people who carry stretchers up and down. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
That would be something you actually would like.
I'd like to be on the stretcher.
And you're very capable. I think you'd be good at that.
Salt Lake County Search and Rescue if you want to get more
That
information.
is something you might actually really enjoy. You love helping people. You've got mad skills.
Once I
You
lose,
totally MacGyver the living crap out of everything. You'd be so
once
good
I
at that.
lose this, maybe that's how I do it. But then, who wants to get rescued by a guy who almost lost the weight? No, you want Thor to show up, pick you up, walk you down, whimsically. Okay.
Whatever. Okay, we have all these awesome daddy-daughter stories today,
know.
so it's making me a little verklempt. But this one, sorry, I'm
Oh,
actually
you're not
still
going to
cry-
do this again.
I'm actually not going to cry in this one, but I still have tears in my eyes from the last one. Okay, this is adorable. Now, Trent is buff. He's a big, buff, macho, buff guy. Don't show the picture yet if you wouldn't. He likes manly things. But his daughter said, it's mommy and me day at ballet today. And he went,
Right.
oh, well, honey, your mom's, her
Working.
mom's bed rest and she's hugely pregnant.
Right.
There's no way she could go. And she said, well, all the other moms are going to be there. And he goes, I'll be there. And so he came in and sure enough, all the other moms are dressed up in the ballet tutus and they're ready to be swans gracefully with their daughters. And then there's Trent, who basically said, yeah, all right, I can put that on, and went
He's
in.
in.
Put on the leotard thing and the tutu, and he went all the way down. And she said it was really funny to see her dad wearing a tutu, but I thought, okay, that'll make it happy. She'll be happy.
Right.
Sure, why not? And she was very proud of me, and she told me that she loved me 20-something times.
Nice.
And plus, you have got the most frickin' epic video now ever of dad in a tutu.
I took Zoe to ballet. Remember?
Yes, you
I
did.
didn't pull the
Can
tutu.
you? Oh, look at that picture, though. Look. And look at her little face, though. That's the sweetest part, because you can see how proud she is. She's like, that's my dad.
That is so cool.
That's my dad.
Good for him.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It is.
I would see you doing that. I would totally see you do that.
Well,
if
I
I could
did.
do Mommy and Me Day, you would be like, yeah, sure, I'll put the leotard on.
I went and danced around with the moms and their kids. It was fun. All
You're
right.
the kind of dad who would do that.
What do we have coming up?
All right, well, coming up,
Oh,
there's...
no, not this story.
What do you do when you have too much money and apparently zero IQ?
In a big yard.
We'll tell you about it coming up after this. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out that you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Fink and McGregor, also by the Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can schedule an appointment and find out some amazing options for pain-free removal of varicose veins and spider veins. Your legs can look great again with the Vein Clinic. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They're experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They also have a brand new store up in Ogden now. If you'd like to reach them, you can go to blackdiamondexperts.com.
Hey, it's Todd and Erin, and this is pretty cool.
We are at the Intermountain Alta View Clinic. Now, this is actually 22 clinics, all squooshed together with some amazing specialties. And the nice thing about it is you can take care of everybody in your family all together.
Now, don't touch anything because it's still kind of wet because it's so brand new. Now, they're having the open house, like you said, on December 7th, but they've got some great things. If you go to their Facebook page, what you can do is register there for some great prizes, like movie tickets, like Lower Bowl Jazz tickets, and, Disneyland tickets.
A trip for 4, by the way, and of course, celebrity guests.
Right here, celebrity guests with food, and there he is now, the jolly old soul. How are you doing, Santa?
I'm doing great. I like this place.
Well, you should. It's got something that everyone can use.
Health for the holidays.
That's what we have.
Santa is rather profound.
We'll see you December 7th. All right, good morning and welcome back to the Todd and Erin morning stream, GetPartDaily.com.
Okay, I understand people being enthusiasts, and I understand using your expendable income to I want to do this project. I really believe in this. This is something I'm going to do.
Ask me what I would do with too much money.
What would you do with too much money?
I don't know. Oh,
You would...
I'd start a lobster farm to make you happy.
Oh, I love you so much.
What would you do?
I don't think I've ever loved you more than this moment.
Right now?
I would buy us a little house on an island somewhere that we could fly to all the time.
I'd buy 5 little houses.
And I would
Little houses.
But it'd be big enough that we could bring friends, and then we could all make dinner together from the lobster farm.
Nice.
And I would do a lot of stuff for charity. I would do fun foundations.
Everyone should.
And the best part ever is the guy, whoever the millionaire is, who always goes around and he goes to different cities every Christmas and he puts $100 bills in all the Salvation Army buckets.
Gold coins.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool to me.
All right.
So what would this person do when he's the heir of a banking fortune? And
Yeah, but
so he didn't actually do anything himself, but Mommy and Daddy apparently made a buttload of money and left it to him. What does one do?
I don't know.
Well, one first gets if you're 52 years old, you immediately go, I'm going to get a 23-year-old girlfriend.
And marry her.
Because nothing's more relatable than a girlfriend 30 years younger than you are.
May I jump in? Here's his thinking.
Okay.
He's motorcycled all around the world.
Okay.
Never had an accident.
Well, that's nice.
How old is he?
52.
He finally thought to himself, I'm kind of pushing the
Look
limit
at that
here.
face.
Why
I have
don't-
money.
Why don't I make this safer and make my own track so I will not be hit and hurt by a car?
Alrighty. He has a moto museum, a
Oh,
three-story,
no. Oh, jeez.
3-story steel and glass structure where he has $5 million collection of cars and bikes. And then he decided, I don't need a swimming pool. What I really need is a Formula One racetrack. So he has a 275-acre Formula One racetrack. 9 turns, 80 feet of elevation changes, grass-covered boundaries, and foam air fences. So he
That's
thought...
nuts.
And the interesting part, I guess, is because obviously he lives in a very expensive area.
You think?
There was a lot of permits and a lot of harassment level of what should I...
Wouldn't that'd be noisy? We went down to the Larry H. place out in Tooele, and you cannot plug your ears hard enough when those things go by. It is...
His immortal phrase to the New York Post was, "You go fast enough to make your butt pucker."
I got nothing.
Let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily newsroom. She is, of course, brought to you by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to think-mcgregor.com, there's so many different mortgage options because these guys are mortgage brokers, so they can make something fit perfectly for you. And they can do it quickly. It doesn't take forever and cost you a ton of money. Also, by Liberate a Man. You can free yourself from adult addiction with a formula that has worked time after time after time. So free yourself by going to liberateaman.com. Also by Black Diamond Experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They also have a new office open in Ogden now. You can go to blackdiamondexpert.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Good morning, Todd and Erin. Hello again, everyone. Here's a look at national and world news for Tuesday, November 28th on GetPartDaily.com. Donald Trump is taking heat after referring to Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas during an event honoring Native American code talkers, a comment that's being broadly slammed as a racial slur. Trump invited the Navajo veterans to the Oval Office to honor their service in World War II. During the event, Trump criticized Warren, whom he has previously accused of falsely touting her Native American heritage to advance her career. We have a representative in Congress who has been here for a long time, longer than you. They call her Pocahontas, Trump said. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders denied that the use of the name was a slur and dismissed critics for a ridiculous response. And it now appears Donald Trump doesn't plan to campaign for U.S. Senate candidate Roy Moore in Alabama, according to the White House. Last week, before leaving for Mar-a-Lago, Trump told reporters, "I'll be letting you know next week about campaigning for Moore before Alabama's December 12th special election." Trump has defended Moore, who is accused of a sexual encounter with a 14-year-old girl when he was 32, and assaulting or pursuing contact with 8 other teenage girls. And a U.S. Navy plane had an unsafe interaction with a Russian fighter jet while flying over the Black Sea Saturday. The Pentagon says the Russian fighter jet came as close as 50 feet to the Navy plane and activated its afterburners as it moved from the right to the left and flew in front of the U.S. plane. The move forced the American pilots to take evasive action. The last reported interaction between US and Russian aircrafts took place in June when a Russian plane flew within 5 feet of an American reconnaissance plane. That's it for now. For more headlines from across the country and around the world, go to getpartdaily.com. And for now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Easy. All right, Black Diamond Experts. There's a reason I really like them because, number one, it's the person you put on your list of people you trust, kind of your go-to guys. Like, you know, somebody that you go to for your, auto work that you can trust. You know somebody who's always going to be reliable if you need a good babysitter. Well, it's the same thing with everything in your house. And it's nice to have one person who can do everything, and that's electric, plumbing, heating, and air. So when you call these guys, whatever you need doing, they can do it. And the nice thing is that they can not only do it 24/7 in case there's an emergency, but that you can also count on them to be licensed and bonded and insured, meaning when they come in, they know what they're doing, you're comfortable having them there, and when they give you a bid, and it's an honest, fair bid, that's what they charge you, nothing extra, no little surprise fees, because they don't like that either. So you can go to blackdiamondexpert.com to learn more about them. Now, did you hear about this firefighter?
I
This
did.
guy's amazing.
And you know what's so cool? It's getting so much coverage. He's worked for the city for like 20 years.
Now
saving people.
Yeah, Jeff Ellis and his son were riding their motorcycles up Parley's Canyon, and I guess he clipped a rumble strip on a curve and he crashed. It was not good. Intensive care, bleeding on the brain, very, very serious. Injuries are significant, and it's going to be a long recovery. But the thing that's so cool about this, though, is that all of the city officials were the ones saying, could you please help this guy because he's done so much.
Medical bills.
So they have a You Caring campaign. It's youcaring.com, and it's called Team Ellis. They're asking for $50,000 to help the family. They'd raised nearly $5,000 just in the first few hours. But, I mean, here's the deal about this guy. Jeff served for more than 30 years. He's a battalion chief and a training officer with the Murray Fire Department. His wife is Martha Ellis, who is the first woman to hold the rank of battalion chief in the Salt Lake City Fire Department. She's an amazing woman.
Wow.
And his oldest daughter is pursuing a firefighting career in another state. So, I mean, this is a
A
family.
whole family of people helping.
Yeah, this is a family
Tradition.
that's done more than 50 plus years together, serving the community. And what they're saying is this guy's going to make it, but Jeff's going to need a lot of help. And we all
rehab
need,
and everything.
and we all know that it doesn't matter what kind of insurance you have. There's so many medical bills left afterwards. And so it seems pretty amazing to me that this is something that the Unified Fire Authority jumped on. But it is something nice because you and I have taken more than one box of donuts to fire stations to thank them for what they've done for our sons.
Yeah.
Because they're always the first responders. And
I
they're
know
such
them by
amazing
name.
people.
Hey, Bob, how are you?
But what a nice way to also say thank you in a much more profound way, because everybody has been helped by these men and women more than once. And so, once again, it's the You Caring campaign. You can go to youcaring.com, and it's Team Ellis. Team Ellis. So I'm going to go online today and do a donation.
A lot of people don't know how to do this because, I mean, the GoFundMe and all these other things you hear about, It's kind of new to a lot of people, but you simply go there and you where do they go again?
Oh, it's really easy. And I like you carrying because the fees are a lot less. There's some that are a lot more. And when it's a
take a part
charity
of it.
thing, that's like,
Right.
But you care. Just go to youcaring.com and you'll see Team Ellis. You
There
can
you
just
go.
write in the search bar and boom, it's right there. You can make a donation online. Super, super easy.
I think it's cool.
And of course, it's always tax deductible. But I just think that's such an amazing thing.
Coming up next, there is something flying through space that's going to kill you. Us.
Look, it's the 10 o'clock news. Things that will murder you in your sleep.
It's coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com. So Jeff, you do mortgages, right?
I do.
How do you do?
Well, you go to our website, 4minutemortgage.com, fill out the application. We'll call you within 1 business day. The whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
We went to the bank
They got really personal.
and went through all of our personal records and all of our finances.
And then there was that little deal about the $8,000 closing costs.
Took like 4 months.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh, this story.
This is really cool, by the way. You know how you talked about Giving Tuesday earlier in the show, that today's the day they're hoping you'll do some donations with the
Black
Love for Holiday
Monday,
funds.
Giving Tuesday.
Well, MJ just came up with the smartest thing on Facebook. Because we were talking about Team Ellis for the
Hey, MJ.
Battalion Chief Ellis
Yeah.
and helping him recover. And she goes, Giving Tuesday decided. Thank you, MJ. That is such a good idea.
And where do they
that
go?
will be our Giving Tuesday too. It's called You Caring Campaign. It's just go to youcaring.com and you'll see, and go to Team Ellis and you'll see where to donate.
Something's going to kill us.
Tell me more.
Dun, 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 dun. It's coming from outer space.
Yes.
I want you to picture a comet or an asteroid, okay? Armageddon, the movie. I want you to think of that trail that comes off of it. It's ripping through the solar system. And usually, this doesn't look like that. That's what's the scary thing. So, most of the time, they do look like that. But this one, do we have a picture? Because this one's like frightening. It looks like a cigar.
Wow,
I
that's
know, right?
intense. Well, this is our first intergalactic visitor too.
It is.
This is from out of our galaxy. I mean,
It
that's
came
amazing.
From another solar system.
Isn't that cool? Look
And
at
it's,
it.
it's not going to hit us. You know why? Because it was flying by and it looked down at Earth and went, oh, my brother already killed the dinosaurs. I'll keep going.
I think that's so. Yeah, so it's going to pass out of our solar system. So basically, it's just stopping by. But that's just so cool to me.
Now, they named it
Oumuamua.
Oumuamua, which is named after the telescope in Hawaii that started tracking it. Another one did it from Chile. So they started, oh, yeah, we got it. And they figured out it is going 85,000 miles an hour.
Wow, it doesn't have time to stop.
And it's
Imagine the brakes on that thing.
Should have been braking like
3 solar systems
800
before.
years, 800 years ago.
I don't think I've ever seen one that shape before.
Nor have they.
Traditionally, it's more like
That's,
roundish, right?
that's not a
Spherical?
picture, by the way. That's an artist rendering. And so basically, it's rusty, kind of red-ish. How do you tell that? How do you...
With telescopes and brawn. Duh.
Good grief.
That's so cool, though. Our
So
first
anyway-
intergalactic visitor, and it's a gigantic flying cigar.
And then they got the Hubble involved.
In Star Trek, they get the Vulcans. We get a flying cigar. It's almost as good as the Vulcans.
They say if that actually hit
And
the
warp
Earth,
drive.
hit that Earth at that speed,
We would just resemble a big donut. And it
the
would
little chunks of Earth would be hanging on the
Yeah.
edge of it like this.
I don't think there's any hanging. All
Right.
right. this was one of my favorite things ever. I think you've got the story here, don't you?
No, you have it.
Okay, I don't actually, which makes me very sad.
Go
but
look for it.
Well, we can talk about it anyway. They had the Miss USA pageant. I mean, my sister participated. She was Miss Utah. There's very tall, very, very pretty women, and everyone has lovely voices, and everyone's really extraordinarily attractive. But there was a new contestant who is all of those things.
Yes.
She's actually a little shorter than usual.
Really?
Beautiful blonde girl, cornflower blue eyes. She's in the Miss Minnesota USA. Miss Minnesota.
Minnesota.
And she's gorgeous. I mean, so pretty.
So
and,
what do we...
And she was standing up on stage, and they gave her the Spirit Award, crown, sash, made her really pretty. She's the first contestant with Down syndrome.
No kidding.
And she's absolutely adorable. And her name's Michaela Holmgren. And they actually
She's
have this.
adorable.
They actually have this cool public Facebook page for her because she's so pretty and she's so darling. And they wanted to have this really positive role model
What a great smile.
for people with disabilities. It's like there's nothing you can't do.
This
There's
is true.
nothing.
This is true.
And they have these beautiful pictures of her just like leaping and hugging Miss Minnesota USA from last year.
Minnesota.
And she's just the cutest and the prettiest
is.
thing. And just, they said, everyone in the pageant said how incredibly joyful she was and how much fun she was to be around. And
Right.
that usually it's this really high stress thing and everyone's like, rah, rah, at each other.
Yeah.
And that she changed, they said she changed the whole nature
The
of
dynamic.
of the pageant, where everyone was
Funny.
incredibly more supportive of each other and having more fun.
Right.
And I mean, and I think back on some of the mean tricks that we all went through. None that I ever did during pageants, and to see something like that though, that where she creates this dynamic, it's so cool. So Michaela, that is wonderful, and congratulations, and I hope you continue your pageant career. What?
What are the tricks?
Oh, there were some mean ones. Tamara had a black silk dress on once, and just before she sat down, someone shook, one of the other contestants shook baby powder all over the seat, so she'd have this big white butt on stage. And there was another time when
That's a slap fight waiting to happen.
there was another time that my shoes went missing for three of my competitions, so I ended up doing most of it barefoot. And and they showed up later mysteriously in the same place where they weren't before. And then there was the epic super glue incident.
What?
Tamara super glued her eyes shut.
She did that to herself, right?
No, somebody had the eyelash glue that she thought she was using for her
Right.
false eyelashes
Somebody
had been
put-
replaced. But
So it looked like she was winking the whole time, like Popeye.
no, she just like kind of ripped her whole eye open. Yeah.
Beauty is pain.
I guess
hear.
I shouldn't have laughed about that one because it is sort of horrible if you think about it. But
Let's talk
so
about
so
Harry.
Michaela, thank you for changing the whole pageant landscape.
cool.
I hope you do more.
Let's talk about Harry's engagement, shall we?
Prince Harry, I know, I'm so excited by this. This is so cool. Okay, Meghan Markle, here's one of the things.
They were in public together.
Well, here's one of the reasons people are excited about this. Now, she's an actress here in the U.S. She's in the Suits series. Very, very pretty woman. She's 4 years older than he is. She's a divorcee, and she's has an African American mother and a Caucasian father. And one of the reasons that people are really excited about this is they say this is such a difference because when Prince Charles married Princess Diana, the whole thing was centered on, well, you know, she's a virgin. Because apparently you had to be a virgin to be a princess, and it's like, and it was like there was extensive press coverage on her virginity, which was like, no, seriously, and like in these really uptight royal periodicals and stuff, and you're like, that's really the big focus, and it was. And so now that they're getting married, and she's like a career woman, and she's interesting, and she's fun, and she's biracial, and she's a divorcee, all the things.
She's a real person.
Yeah, she's a human being. And when you see the pictures of them, and they're smiling, and she's like, says the big, fun, happy smile instead of that frozen, creepy face.
Right.
But they're talking about what a cool thing it is that this is like a big progression social-wise, the fact that you have a member of the royal family that is behaving in a real-life manner, like people do.
Right.
And the fact that it really was a big push, it was really a big move for race relations, and that even here in America, people were very excited by the fact that this seemed like this created a more inclusive society for everybody.
I'm sure they just did it because they had the hots for each other.
99% of it, yeah.
The question, who was the last royal couple that got married?
It was probably Princess Kate and Prince
Oh, yeah.
William.
And if you remember, a focus on the wedding was her sister's tush.
It was a cute tush.
Because she was like, she's patting her tush. Who are you people? Who are you?
Oh,
And so now we have two great couples.
It was very
of the
cute.
royal family.
They said, "Can you tell us about the proposal?" And he goes, he said, "I can't tell you anything." They said, "Was it at least romantic?" And he goes, "Of course it was," because Prince Harry's kind of a player. You know, he knows what he's doing. It's very sweet though. The ring was designed by Harry. They had spent a lot of time down in Botswana because he does a lot of work down in some of the African nations,
Right.
and he had taken her down there for like a really extended date, like. 3-week extended date. So they bought the diamond from Botswana and they designed it. He did a personal design because it was such a cool memory for them. So I just love that. I think that's so sweet.
Plus, he's a prince. Prince in shining armor.
Prince with a cool diamond.
He could have walked up with a donut.
I'm a prince.
I'm a prince.
You want the donut?
And the ring.
Isn't that sweet though?
He's still got the best gig. We talked about with Daisy yesterday.
I know,
It's
right?
like, he's fifth in line. He'll never be king. You know what he gets to do? He gets to be in love. He gets to live in a cottage inside the.
I didn't know this though.
Friggin' Nottingham.
Well, no, this is what's so funny because there's Buckingham Palace, which is where the Queen lives, and then there's Kensington Palace.
Right.
And Daisy explained this is the party palace. This is where Prince William and Princess Kate live, and so they kind of have like their own digs inside the party palace. So it's like you get to hang out with your brother-in-law and have fun, and apparently the brothers get along super well.
Right.
And so that's actually kind of funny. So you get like the fun palace.
Get
I did not know this option was available, but now I'm kind of jealous.
You get to go and party and then go down in the dungeon and tease the people who
I don't think they have any of those there.
chained to the wall.
I don't think they do that anymore.
Probably not.
Not even in Tower of London.
Or do they?
Can you imagine being like one of the stunt prisoners in Tower of London? Shaking my chains.
A crow is eating my eye. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Lunch break, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you really do have to have some representative
So
prisoners.
what is this about gloves?
I thought I want to get these for you for Christmas. I actually talked to the
Well, then
inventor
don't
yesterday.
tell me about it.
Well, I talked to the inventor yesterday because I
Should
was
I
asking
leave?
permission to use, if you want.
Because I can't hear in the
Yeah.
other room.
Go.
Because I like surprises.
Go. Okay, these are really cool. They were trending
I'm
on.
not gone yet.
They were trending on Twitter yesterday, and they're really cool. And if you have a guy or a gal who is totally into the cool gadget thing, I was talking to the inventor yesterday because I wanted permission to use part of the video. Do you guys want to run this? And he said, yes, but do please mention that if you run over them with a tank, they probably won't work. And I'm like, seriously? He goes, yes, someone tried that. But firefighters have been using them and rescue workers because nothing can cut through them. It's really amazing. You can break windows, you can hold fire, you can roll up glass. I mean, it's really, really cool. They're calling them the superhero gloves because so many rescue workers are using them now because it's like you cannot hurt them. And more importantly, I suspect, is when you're wearing them, nothing can hurt you. But so they've been using them like on oil and gas rigs because there's so much explosion and so much fire. You can cut, slash, puncture, heat, flame, impact, crush, invert mud. I don't even know what that means. But for water, biotoxin, chemical hazards, they've tried them all these different toxins. Nothing can seep through. But it sounds like really cool. So anyway, if it sounds like it's fun to you and you want to try this, I'm totally getting Todd a pair of these because you know he's going to go through every single trial he can. It's their Schmitz mitts. So it's Schmitz and then mitts is M-I-T-T-Z. Schmitz mitts. So they're originally designed for like firefighters and first responders, but they say everybody wants them now because it's like they're awesome. So it's Schmitz mitts. So I'm totally going to get some for Todd. You can come back in now. Except for don't roll over them with a tank because
They
he said
said
that
I
doesn't
could
work.
come back in.
You can come back in.
Did you talk to? Did you talk about it?
That's a really cool present.
Yeah. I so want those.
They're-
I cheated. I was out there watching. I want a whole suit like that.
They're 5 times stronger than steel.
See the guy hitting it with a hammer?
5 times stronger than. They tried them with biohazards and nothing penetrated the surface. You ruined your own surprise. You have no one to blame but
Because
yourself.
I'm usually pretty. I can walk through a room when they're wrapping my presents on the floor,
And he won't look.
and
Yeah.
I can walk through the room and not look.
Schmitz mitts. M-I-T-T-Z.
Say it slowly, otherwise.
Schmitz
Yeah.
mitts.
Yesterday.
I'm so excited to try that. I know you're going to do like every trial possible on them. I know you
You
are.
just want to hit me with a hammer.
Oh,
is
not
your
you,
thing.
the gloves.
Sure, but who's wearing the glove?
Well, not unless you're wearing it on your head.
Okay.
You'll be fine. Isn't that cool?
That
Don't
is
you want
way
them really
cool.
bad?
Oh my gosh.
I saw them trending on Twitter yesterday and I was dying. I'm like,
How
man,
much are they?
they're not that bad.
Really? Yesterday's sunrise was unstinking believable. And I got to tell you, I went on our Facebook page and I asked for your photos so I could do the little video you're about to see. And this is a funny thing. First of all, thank you, Celia and Renee and Kurt Bester.
And Patrick.
So there, Kurt Bester is on our Facebook page, and he lives up in the avenues, so he has a good view. And I just think it's funny. Then I asked him if we could use it, and he goes, "Yeah." So anyway, you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning on the morning stream on getparkdaily.com.
And don't forget to drop a comment so that you can enter to win for the holiday dinner for 4 at Christopher's Prime Steakhouse.
Here is your moment of zen.